Welcome to this old house episode, crown molding. And so, in one of the previous videos that I assaulted you with, you saw that those really nice ceiling tiles that are supposed to look like tin ceiling tiles in one of the rooms of our homestead. You also saw that weak white trim molding original that surrounded the acoustic tiles in which we covered up with that really nice stuff. Anyway, needed crown molding, and so there I was, dark and stormy night, trying to find some cool molding. And the prices, I don't have to pay $60 for 10 feet or what have you. When I've got table saw, some routers, this and that and the other thing, I wound up making 10-foot sections that cost me less than $5. Now let's get kind of a view of it. Look at that. Isn't that going to be nice? And we're lucky because there was a can of the original stain sitting in the basement of that house that was used on all the beams and in door frames and all this other stuff. There's a lot of woodwork. You'll see it eventually. Just hold on to your shorts. And we're going to do it on this crown molding. Now, how I was able to get 10-foot sections for under $5 was at Home Despot. They had 1x6s, which are really 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch. That's the magic of carpentry. You can see 3 pieces. There's one piece right here, and then this other piece that's glued on, actually 90-degree angle, and then this little kind of a rectangle in cross section. It's not a square, it's a rectangle. It's a little thinner in this direction than it is in this, and I didn't measure it. I just did it kind of by eye. The first step was you cut this piece and this piece, and then you cut a little bit of that piece and a round over bit. Forgot what size it is, my router table, just to make this one round. This is just a step affair, and if you looked carefully, you can see, because I did this rabbit, that's a rabbit right there, with the table saw, it's got like this little step within that. I don't know if you can pick that up, but I decided to leave it. I liked it. A little more complex. And then just beveled this. The order of operations, it did not take one single clamp to make this stuff. I laid this piece, the major piece on there. And then using this side piece, just kind of pressed against it with a block as a straight edge to push it against this. This was the last step, cutting this triangle out. Put this on here and just kind of tacked reference nails along it, little 1.25 inch wire nails, just to keep this from moving around. Glued that on, glued this on, pulled the nails when it was dry, run this through the circular saw and get that notch so I can apply these without having to take the old cheesy original molding off. And that's about it. How I'm going to attach them? Well, a couple of the walls are like made out of stone, out of granite. So I'm going to use that brand new $40 hammer drill to drill holes in the wall. Countersink for screws in here, and use just plain old, probably concrete masonry screws to hold them in. Maybe splashing on some of that Loctite construction adhesive on there, because I'm an old man, so these things are never going to be taken off, and I want to cause issues for the person that restores that room to not as much splendor. So I might just glue these things to the wall along with using concrete screws, just to punk the next people. But that's about it. Less than $5 for a 10-foot section of crown molding, just using a table saw and a router. And you almost don't even need to use a router. You could have just beveled this little one in there on the table saw instead of using a router. So it doesn't take much technology. I've been hand sanding these. I got one more section to hand sand. There's 4 in total, 9x10 room. Yep. Oh, and I'm not going to use my compound miter saw there. That blade's abused, so I'm just going to I've got a hand miter saw. So that's how I'm going to stick that on there. That's about it. Good news on the violini front. You know I had to pitch that. Just got a a call from my violin doctor, a violin maker. It's got that French violin. It's got to do some work repairing the edges, some touch up on the varnish, making a new sound post, setting it, carving the bridge, pegs, putting a new chin rest on it. I was shocked at how little he was charging. He quoted me $325 for all that work, and I'm like, are you kidding? I thought it'd be a lot more than that. And he goes, I can charge you more if you want. And I'm like, no, that's all right. And he goes, I'm a workaholic and I love doing this, so it's going to be probably 2 weeks before it's done. It's going that soon. He goes, I could take longer if you wanted. And it's like, no, dude, I'm going to stop talking right now. Just go ahead and do it. Well, that is all. That's enough. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. The crown molding caper. I am pleased. I am so pleased. Can't wait to see this up on the vase.